and touched countless students, and we are so fortunate to have him at Kansas State University. I know I personally appreciate Frank and the band for everything that they do, and I enjoy that serenade 3 times a week.
Dr. Tracz essentially is the whole reason why I ever found my way to Kansas. I was teaching in Ohio, and a friend of Dr. Tracz's and a friend of mine heard my bands play, and asked me where I was going to grad school. At the time I was a first-year teacher and really didn't have a good answer to that question, but I knew I wanted to go to grad school, and Dr. Tracz magically sent me an email which appeared in my inbox on Monday, and I really had no idea who he was at the time I got the email, but I found out rather quickly, and his magnetic personality, his dynamic assets as a leader and a motivator, rung through even through the email. I was amazed at his ability to motivate and lead students of any age to aspire to be better than they ever thought they could be, and I'm very, very proud to say that that's what got me to K-State, and that's what brought me back to K-State, was realizing wholeheartedly that I still had more to learn, and realizing that Dr. Tracz still had more to teach me.
I knew that once we had a good football team, we had to pair it up and have a superb marching band. And so that's why I thought, well, I better get involved in this. And so this was kind of a make or break moment. Are we going to get a band director in here that can re-energize and reinvigorate the marching band? But we just got to let it go into mediocrity. And so we interviewed Frank Tracz, and there were 3 or 4 other people that we interviewed. But after interviewing Dr. Tracz, I know I said, and many of my colleagues that were in a discussion and the interview said, hey, I think we found the right guy. And in my heart, when he left, I thought, if we can sign him up, we're going to restore greatness to the marching band.
I think the first impression I had of Dr. Tracz was that he was a bartending band director, because when we first moved here, Dr. Tracz was trying to get new band uniforms, and I think when Kirk first met him, he was attending bar at a catbacker to try to raise some funds for that. And so that was the first impression of Dr. Tracz, and we've grown to learn and love more about Dr. Tracz over the last 3.5 years, and how much he really means to the university, to the students that he's involved with, as well as to the athletic teams and the support that the band provides to them.
When I think of a word that would describe Frank Tracz in some sort of totality, the word to me that comes to mind is enthusiasm. I can remember when we first were young band directors and he was in his program in Chesterland, Ohio at West Geauga High School, and we were out there every day just sweating and working those kids hard, and at night we'd be back in our dorm room talking about the day's activities, and yet there was always this enthusiasm about everything we were doing. And when I come to K-State and visit and see the marching band rehearsing, I just sense there's a tremendous joy and desire to do that. That is Frank every day at every moment. Whether it's us going to George's to eat in the morning, or whether it's us going to eat at Brazaz in Chicago and having a fantastic meal, Frank approaches everything with great enthusiasm and great joy.
I guess looking back now as a teacher, it's real life stuff that you would want to pass on to your own kids. You know, the work ethic. He brings a really strong work ethic, not just from him, but kind of passes that on to his kids.
He's got a style about him, the way he inspires people and coaches people and gets people to perform their best. I don't think there's anyone out there like him. You know, he's funny, he can be serious, he can be silly. Sometimes when I'm teaching, I find little Tracisms that come out, and I have to catch myself and think back of what I said, and if that was really appropriate to say in front of the kids. But I haven't slipped up yet. I think every year I've seen him, he's lost more hair back this way, and it's gotten a little grayer also.
I mean, Frank, what can you say, bud? I mean, honestly, 20 years in one location is a milestone for so many people that it's difficult for everyone to attain. So congratulations to you in being at Kansas State. That community has come full circle with you in charge of that marching band and that band program in general.
Well, I had the pleasure of interviewing Dr. Tracz when he came to the campus for the first time about 20 years ago, and within 30 seconds I turned to President Leopold and winked and said to him in a very close conversation that this is the guy. Right away knew that his passion, his ability to relate to all kinds of students and the K-State constituency was going to be incredible. So right on the spot I knew he was a match for us.
Both Dr. Tracz and I are approaching 60, and as I reflect on my life and think about all the great joys I've had, one of those great joys is having as my closest friend Frank Tracz. For Frank is the embodiment of the quintessential best friend, someone who cares about you deeply enough to want to hear about the triumphs that you have, and at the same time is willing to share in the sorrows of this earthly life. I can't think of a better friend than Frank Tracz.
A lot of times, you know, we had fun with him in the office because one of his big things, not only is a work ethic, is he's kind of a neat freak. So, you know, a lot of times he would go out and about and he'd come back in the office and we've, you know, made like 3 of his pictures crooked to see if he noticed, or we'll leave like some of the cabinets ajar to see if he noticed. Of course, he did. So it was just kind of a fun little game that we would play throughout the summer of the year.
A couple things I think about Dr. Tracz. He's very passionate. He's very loyal, and you probably won't find a bigger K-State fan anywhere. For Dr. Tracz is very supportive of K-State and activities, and so we want to say congratulations to Dr. Tracz for 20 years, and we hope he's around for 20 more years. And we wish best of luck and look forward to many opportunities in the future.
We're colleagues, but more than that, we're really close friends. You know, when you work with somebody as long as I did with Dr. Frank Tracz, you know, we just got to know one another better and better, and we'd have coffee and lunch. So Frank and I will always be good friends and colleagues, even though I'm not president anymore. Hey, I just want the marching band to be the best. And I'll tell you what, they are the best.
The way that you give to that community, the way that you look out for others, the way that you treat people, you know, you expect the best, that you don't stand for anything else, and that is what a true leader is all about. Leadership's never easy. You've taught me so many of these things that they may seem like cliches, but they are ways of life. They are indeed ways of life when you look at the grand scheme of things of how much was actually accomplished at Kansas State under your 20-year tenure.
I believe the world is divided into 2 separate groups. People that don't care and people that care. Frank Tracz cares. He's K-State. He always has been. I am so honored to have him as a member of our K-State family. He makes an impact every single day on not only the K-State pride, he makes a difference in individual lives. He's a tremendous role model, great family man, individual that understands the purpose of what higher education is all about. This is a man who makes a significant contribution every single day of his life, and I'm proud to know him and to help him and help our program, our music program, be as successful as it can be. He's a great guy.
He is hilarious, and he has a tendency to tell them like it is, and he does it, you know, in a very humorous way.
He's an invaluable asset to this university and this community, and I'm so grateful for having been able to have the opportunity to learn from him.
You know, anyone that's ever been in any of his groups, whether they've been like an undergrad or a grad student, know that you know, his preparation and his work ethic, it's infectious, and it really changes, I think, the lives of a lot of people.
And I was there at K-State between 2002 and 2004, where I did my master's degree, and I want to say a big congratulations to Dr. Tracz for your 20 years of service to K-State. I just can't think of anyone else who's had a bigger impact on certainly the music program, but really across campus than you in that span of time. And K-State sure is lucky to have you, and hope there's many more years there left to come.
So, Frank, congratulations, and really, 20 years is not long enough. Enjoy the ride.
Hey, Frank, I'm doing this for you and the members of your brilliant marching band. When Bryant called me and asked me to say some nice things about you, it was so easy. It's like win one for the giver. So I'm very, very happy to talk about your amazing accomplishments here at Kansas State in your 20 years here. You have done the impossible. You have performed a miracle. You have turned around a marching band. And you have made it into one of the greatest marching bands in America and the world today. And I was happy to be your partner for 20 years. You're a dear friend, and you always will be. Good luck, and God bless you.
And Frank, thank you for everything that you've done for Kansas State University. You've truly made Kansas State University a better place for everyone, including all of our students and our countless number of fans. Thank you.
Thank you, Frank, for all that you have done for and meant to Kansas State University, your student band members, our football program, and me personally. You're truly a special person and a loyal and caring friend. I admire how very much you care for those young, wonderful student band members and for the passion that you have for giving them such wonderful guidance and direction. You are greatly appreciated. And I appreciate you and your band members so much for showing up here at our complex, at 2 or 2:30 in the morning after we've returned from football games in various parts of the country. That is truly special, and you are truly special. Thank you so very much.
If you are not excited when you go into that place, you're dead. You'll never have any kids because you'll never be excited enough to have kids. There are 9,000 seats. Every seat is filled. There are 4,000 or 5,000 people behind the seats. There's fog. They're drunk. They're singing.